Oh, we're live. And I
Here
didn't
we are.
notice. Hello, hello. Happy Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed your 4th of July weekend or days and weekend. It's a confusing week for a lot of us. Uh, but it's Friday, so happy Friday. So you're in the weekend again. So I hope you had a productive week, even though it was a holiday week and you enjoyed it with your family. If you are new here, my name is Noura Al Masri. I'm an enrolled agent and the founder of Noura's Books. I am also known as a nonprofit CFO. And like every Friday, I am here with my partner, Brittney C. Hi, Brittney.
Hi. Hi everyone. Happy Friday. Also happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day. Happy birthday, America. Right? So I'm Brittney C. I am the founder. I'm a first and foremost, I'm a certified grant consultant as well as a nonprofit consultant. What I do is position grant writers, nonprofits, and businesses to win grants at the in inception conception stage of their business. So this is not really talked about a lot, where within your first 1 to 3 years you can qualify for funding, but of course you have to do it the right way to be able to qualify for that. So that's something that I do, mainly grant writing, mainly teaching about it. But yeah, this is something that I definitely do, and I love talking about it, and I have passion for it. But I'm gonna go ahead and let Nora start off on today. Um, what are we talking about? Are we right now? Are we gonna tell them about our mastermind, or we're just gonna tell them
Oh no,
about?
yeah. Go ahead and tell them about it again if you didn't hear yet. We have upcoming event, and I'll let you talk about it, Brittany.
So our upcoming event is our Available Money Now Mastermind, and it's this lovely picture that I have in the background of us to unlock your nonprofit potentials. But with the QR code behind me or on the side of me here, when you scan it, it takes you directly to our link to purchase your tickets. The tickets start off at $497, but that price will increase on August 1st, 2023. We are telling everyone this. So you're not exempt from, get it while it's $497 right now. Because when August 1st comes and you send us an email or you contact us saying, hey, is it still $497, or can you lower it back down to $497? No, that is our hard stop. $497. So what are you gonna get for $497? Here's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get training and information about your nonprofit, about your donor, what you need to do in that arena from Nora. And what you're going to get from me is not just writing grants, because anyone can write a grant, but how to position yourself with a strategy to win more, to win sooner rather than later. I'll say that. And in this workshop, it's going to be for 5 hours. So you're going to be joining us on August 26, 2023 at 10 a.m. to 3. And that's what we're going to have. We're going to have games. We're going to have two workbooks, one from Nora, one from me, as we're going through this mastermind. You're going to get to be able to work with us. If you have any questions, because we're going to be live and in person, if you have any questions, we can answer them right then and there for you. Also, this is beneficial for you, as a business owner, as a nonprofit leader. If you are someone that's interested in the process, maybe you're just starting out in your nonprofit journey, your grant writing journey, maybe you're a business, whatever and whoever you are, this mastermind is for you. This is our extension to the public to let you know all our secrets, let you know what we know about nonprofit success, and also to qualify for grant funding, like I said, sooner rather than later. And there's financing available for whenever you purchase your ticket today for $497. You could pay it all at once, or you can break it up into payments that better suit you. So, Nora, can you explain more about the um
Payment.
uh yeah, the payment for the financing? I'm sorry.
Yes. No, sure. So when you get to that link, so whether you are using the link on the screen here, but this is not going to take you to purchase yet. But if you go to the link, the QR code that behind Brittney, that's going to go take you directly to the link for payment. So whichever one you use, it's gonna work. But you're gonna see pay now and pay later option. So you want to choose pay later, and you have to answer a couple of questions, and then they will run your credits and they'll approve you for and give you some options. So you can select for how long you want to pay it for and which one do you agree with, and take it from there. So this is how you can break it up for multiple payments, so you don't have to put the full payment right away. So we hope to see you there. It's really actually an opportunity for you to see us in person and to get the most out of us, because in person is different. It is different. So make sure you are in person there with us. Register now before prices goes up. It's an investment, guys. So don't think about it like I don't have this money. You have to find this money, because this money is going to be multiplied by a lot if you do the work, of course. So it's not magic. Not You're not going to get the money just by attending. You're going to have to do the work. So if you are not ready to do the work, maybe this is not for you, but do let anyone and you know that who love to do the work to get results, let them know about the event. We cannot wait to see you. You're going to learn so many secrets, like how to set the foundation for your nonprofit. It does work for your business as well, but there's like slight difference, but you can apply it for anything. Basically, I'm going to show you exactly how to get to the right donors, because not everyone is your ideal donor. And you get to ask me everything about this. I'll have, like Brittney said, I'll have a workbook for you that will explain everything. And well, you will be working there. It's a workbook, so you will be working. And you get to ask me a lot of questions and to ask Brittney. So we're gonna show you the different way to fund your nonprofit, whether it's pursuing grant if you're ready, or start with your donors and continue with your donor. Donor is always your main people, because this is unrestricted. And if you've been in nonprofit, you know how important unrestricted is, because that will allow you to actually hire someone like Brittney to help you writing grants, because it's unrestricted. So you can do this with this money. But if someone give you the grant, they will restrict you on how to spend it, and you cannot give the grant writer money from the grant she's gonna apply for for
Please
you.
don't do that.
Yes, so you
Can't
cannot
do
do
it.
that. So unrestricted is really important, and believe me, guys, it does work. I know a lot of organizations got tens of millions of dollars just from donors, just from donors. And I did it myself for one of the organization that I worked with. I helped them raise $1 million in the first year, $1 million from individual donors. So you do, it's if someone did it, you can do it too. You can learn that, and this is actually can be great opportunity for you if you even don't want to start a nonprofit, but you want to work with nonprofit as a operation manager, development manager, whatever work you want to do with a nonprofit. You're gonna learn both the grant side and the foundation side of it and how to pursue donors, get your real supporter. So you don't want to miss that. You can ask any questions you want. And actually, now you can ask us questions. So feel free to comment here, even if you're watching this in the replay, comment and ask us your question. And we can answer now if you're here and want to ask any question. So feel free to do that. And while you are thinking about your question, we want to talk about our mistakes today. So we don't want to keep you here for talking about the amazing event we have for you, the amazing
Wait,
mastermind. But we'll let Brittney say first, like if she has anything else, and then we're
I
gonna
do.
jump into our mistakes.
I do have something to say. I just wanted them to know that like have the address on where where our event is taking place. So join us at the Cat Foundation of America at 3949 Braxton Avenue, Houston, Texas 77063, and that is going to be on the West Park Tollway.
Mhm.
So if you guys are familiar with the Galleria area with like uptown, midtown, downtown, it's gonna be past that till you get to the West Park Tollway, and the Cat Foundation is gonna be on the right hand side when you I want to say when you take the 59 exit. I'm trying to get the directions. It's not really coming to me, but you have the address right here. So this is where we're going to be at from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Just to see you guys in person, play games with you guys, answer your questions, what uh get you unstuck, get you to your next step. If you're, even if you did just start something, how to progress in that. So yeah, it's an open invitation to all. So yeah, bring someone you know that's trying to break in, and this is really good if you're trying to break into nonprofits, as well as if you're saying, "Hey, this is the last shot. This is the last time if I make this investment that I'm going to do nonprofits before I quit for good." Same, come join us, have fun with us, get to spend time with us, and yeah, lighten your mood a little bit, because the last time, your last chance doesn't necessarily have to be your last chance. But anyway, not to
Mhm.
go on, I just wanted you guys to have the address, which you have before you, and now we are going to go into the mistakes we made in our business. Me and Nora, um we're human. We're human. I don't want to get off and say, "Oh, we're perfect." We've never ever ever made a mistake in our business. When we first did this, we knew exactly what we were doing, and then it flourished. we're
So there is a question from Dorothy. Hi Dorothy, how are you? I'm looking forward to the class. I know you registered for the 990 class, but if you are around Houston area, anywhere in Texas or you can go there. Like we have this event, it's going to be in person training. It's going to be on August 26th. So I'm not sure if you are interested on this one. Like we would love to see you in person.
Mhm.
How do you classify money that is being transferred into a nonprofit, specifically a church? Transferred from who? That's what's gonna determine how do you classify it. Who did transfer this money? So if you want to write it down, like I would love to answer you. Otherwise, until then, we're gonna continue talking about mistakes. So start talking about mistakes.
Do you want to go first or me?
Sure, you can start.
Okay, so as a grant consultant certified doing that, I felt like, yeah, I'm taking the right step. And this is when I first started. Like, I'm saying, I was already working my corporate job, and I was saying like, okay, I want to be certified in grant writing. So I was just, doing that initial research. What do I need to do? How do I get how do I get involved in this? And yes, just like you guys ran into scams, so did I. I wanted to make absolutely sure that before I made the initial investment that this is first is not going to be a scam, and it's going to be something that I could still use for a lifetime. And I was at the time, I was actually in college taking some courses, and I just my advisor, I just happened to ask about that. I said, does this college offer anything for grant writing? And my advisor, it was one of those, I don't know. I no one's asked that before. You're the first. Let me get back to you. And when she did, she mentioned Ed to Go. It's that's what you get for the certifications, where it's kind of like it's through the school system, but it's not. But they kind of work in tandem with school systems to make sure that if you wanted to get on a fast track certification part of it, you're able to do that. So this is stuff that I went for. um I did have to make an investment in there, and the investment was not that much. It was a little over $100 when I first started. And after just going around now, and I'm seeing the price of the class, it's still reasonable. It's just closer to $150 now. So I went there, took the class, got the certificate. I thought I was good. I'm just like, yeah, I'm going in this world. I'm going as a grant writer. I am certified. I am going to make a difference. And I volunteered at my one of my local nonprofits. And so I'm doing this, and I have a meeting with the executive director, and he told me, he was like, yeah, that's not what I do. I don't do grants. I just do executive director. I do this. This is my livelihood. This is what I do. Grants, you're on your own. I don't know the first thing about writing it. So I was like on my own. And I thought, because yes, I'm certified as a grant writer, grant consultant, that okay, I can just like fulfill my lifelong purpose and just write grants all day. No, there was so much more to it. I ran into scams myself. I ran into like whenever you're seeking information, like doing your simple Google searches, or even going as far as YouTube or other sources. And this was before we had Chat GPT. This was before we had Falcon. This was before then. So here I am stuck, like, I want to write. What do I do? And I'm still going to different classes outside of the college. I'm, doing college work. I'm doing this grant writing thing. I'm writing a business. Like, it seems like all at the same time, right? And so a mistake that I made was just thinking that as a grant writer, I only need to be the best at writing proposals. And this was a mistake, because over time, and this is where I always say in my workshops, this is what I always say in general. I cannot save you from your mistakes. I can just let you know the mistakes I made so you can avoid that. And that was a mistake I made. I didn't know anything about nonprofits at the time. I didn't know anything about 990s. I didn't know anything about like the classification of nonprofit, like what nonprofit does what for what, because there's so many. It's not just a 501c3. There's so many. There's a 501c1. There's a list of different nonprofit and charitable organizations that are not a 501c3 that can get grant funding. But the majority, I would say well over 90%, are for 501c3 nonprofits only. But like I said, not knowing this information and only wanting to know how to do grants, how to properly do that. I knew that from like, and I took writing classes way like a long time ago. I took writing classes. I knew the structure, the grammar, what you're supposed to say, fanboys, like all the acronyms, all of that, the punctuation, what you need to do, how to start your sentences, like avoiding fragments, avoiding run-on sentences. That I was good in that arena, but I was still failing to get funded. With all of this knowledge I have about writing grants, is like, why am I not getting funded? Is because I didn't have the other initial part of it, which was, how does nonprofits work? How do they work? And why are nonprofits essential to grants and grant funding? So that was a mistake I made. Another one would have to be with my clients. I'm I was making that transition from being an employee to now I'm a business owner, or now I'm just kind of like freelance doing it myself. And so I'm having that mindset of an employee. So here I am, like on some instances I would like, my client or potential client will reject me, and I'm just like, oh, I need the money, and I need to pay bills, I need to do this. So I'm thinking, well, if I go after them, if I chase them, if I do this, they're gonna say yes, yes, we want you to write we want you to write the grant for us. And it turned out the exact opposite. Or it'll be like, I am making the initial contact, I am following up, I'm not chasing, but I'm not being told that they went another direction, or it's just one of those things. I wasn't taking the hint, I wasn't taking the cues. So I feel like maybe I'm not being tenacious enough. I need to be more tenacious and go after it. When in actuality, it was a rejection in silence. They said no and went with someone else. So with having these different things and feeling so defeated because of the rejection, and rejection is it's a normal part of the process. But hurt over it, because I'm on my own, I'm trying to figure this out, I'm trying to see, getting knowledge, I'm doing the best that I can on my own. And like I said, this was before I invested in something where I'm like, okay, I need help. What do I need to do to be a better coach, a better this, a better that? So that's where my ups and downs were in my business, the mistakes that I made. Other mistakes
Yeah,
were,
yeah, and actually, it's rejection is part of entrepreneurial journey. Before we
yes.
continue, we actually, I'm just gonna answer Dorothy.
Okay.
So she says the pastor transferring money to take care. So if he's transferring money uh, to his church, you can treat it in two ways. It depends on, does he want this money back? So if he wants this money back, then you can reimburse him. So he have to have an expense report, and he can reimburse himself later when they have the money. Or it can be treated as donation. So whatever thing that he wants to do, um, this is how you decide on how you want to treat it. So either reimburse him, so it is an expense, or a donation, so he can get deduction. Yes, they don't have to have 501c3 as a church, he still can get the deduction. Is not required to file a 990. For the state requirements, you need to go to the state attorney general websites. So you want to say attorney general website for that, whatever state, charity, or charity law. Just play with the word, but it's usually with the state attorney general websites. In Chicago, in Illinois, we have that. So each state is different. So you just have to find out what the website for the charity treatment for your organization, for your state, to be able to know like what you have to do for the state. So that is it. And before, so I'm gonna mention like similar actually mistakes that you mentioned. Um, you mentioned, Brittney, about education. So, but this goes back to actually long, long time ago, before even like back to 2010 when I had my kids. I was single mom at that time, and I was working my corporate job, and I thought, okay, I want to spend more time with my kids. I really want to see them. So what I thought, okay, best thing to do is just, I have my house, so maybe I can open my office um, in my house, but I need to have my CPA. This is what I thought back then. I need to have my CPA. So I started studying for my CPA. So I didn't check. I just thought. That was, of course, before like being acceptable to be online tax and accounting firm. So that's what I did. I was okay, studying for my CPA before I got into the nonprofit world. And then I just found out when I get to now, like 2021, when actually I started my tax and accounting firm, that I don't have to have my CPA. And actually, having your CPA or any other credential, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be successful. It doesn't mean that you understand more than other people, because studying is something, applying the knowledge is something else. And let me tell you, as we speaking for nonprofit about nonprofits, I've studied the enrolled agents exams, and I'll tell you about the enrolled agent in a second. And I studied for the CBA, and none of them covers friction of what you have to know for for the nonprofits. It's all self-made. Like, you have to study on your own. Like, there's no none of these exams ask you to study what you have to study. Like, they don't give you any knowledge. I mean. So being a CPA or any credential is not doesn't mean you know actually how to do something. Well, your signature is going to be something, but let me tell you, if you have a bookkeeper who is a CPA or not, doesn't matter. But let's say she's a CPA, she's doing your books. When you need an audit, she cannot do the audit because that's a conflict of interest. She's not an outsider anymore. She's your bookkeeper. So you still need to find another CPA to do your audits. So that's what you have to know. So actually, yeah. So when I started, I took this step in registering my business, and then while I'm doing the work, I found out about the enrolled agent, which I never heard about. And actually, if you are not familiar about enrolled agents, what enrolled agent is, like I was before, it's a status. The IRS give this highest credential. It's a highest credential awarded by IRS to individuals. You have to take 3 exams. You are required to do 72 hours of continuing education in the 3 years period. And there's also a minimum for each of these years, and you have to take ethic exams. And you would be like an attorney or CPA. You have unlimited practice rights. So it's federal also. When you are a CPA, it's not as, it's by state, but this is a federal thing. So it is really great. Even though I don't have to have it in order to do taxes or work with my clients or do their book, I don't have to have it. But I chose to have it. But have I known before that I don't have to be a CPA? Maybe now my firm would be like 20 years old, but or more than less than that. Oh, 10, 15 years old. But I didn't know, I didn't ask, I didn't verify. I just assumed. So do not assume. Do not assume. And if you think like you want to do something, go find out what you have to do. Don't just assume, oh, I have to do that. And also having money. You don't have to have money to do anything, actually. You can start a business with zero money, and you can generate money from the first month. So that's one thing that's similar to what Brittney said. So, but in a different um, scenario. So yeah, like go ahead, Brittany. Like say one of
You
your
don't.
mistakes as well.
You don't. You don't. So, and I probably should have started with this because I know I'm getting like, okay, when did this happen? When did you start your journey? It started for me at towards the end of 2019. I was all through 2019. I was debating on if I wanted to do grant writing on top of what I was doing already. I was working for a third party records retrieval firm. And for those of you who are familiar with the term or unfamiliar with the term, it's just a fancy or less fancy way to say I was a paralegal assistant. So that's what I did for 5 years. I would I was just assisting the paralegal by getting the records in for them. So by Texas law, when working in this area where I'm third party, some of the paralegals, some can do this depending on the town, but it's like when you come to the inner city, it's like the laws and everything else changes. So they were telling us that paralegals can't just go on the client's behalf, or the attorney can do this, but the paralegal cannot do this on the client behalf to go and get the client records with the client. So they needed someone like me who worked in third party to just make a simple phone call and ask for the patient records on behalf of XYZ attorney that was representing us. And this attorney gave us the permission to get those patient records. So that's what I did for 5 years. I loved it. It was a toxic work environment. It was a conflict every other day with management and my bosses. but but I love the job nonetheless, because this was one of those twisted things where it's just like, what motivates you in the morning? Knowing that Jane Doe is about to get a settlement for a case because they're trying to prove that this doctor messed with their mess with their body, or however you want to say it. So that's what I mainly did for 5 years: medical malpractice, personal injury suits, insurance defense, and workers' comp. A little bit of workers' comp. Like I said, I love that. I loved going back into the case and seeing that case was settled, because I'm like, I just made a difference there. I helped. They have no idea, but I helped. So that was what motivated me, knowing that I have to continuously go back to this toxic work environment, because I was just like, okay, it's not about me, it's about that person. So yeah, my journey with all this grant writing stuff came from 2019, and shortly thereafter, that's when Write the Vision Plainly was born. And then I started to really do this. Like I was take this was like grant writing and stuff. It was kind of taking precedence over my over my 9 to 5. And then I got the beautiful, beautiful words that they called me in HR, and they told me the two most beautiful words I'll ever hear: you're fired. So a lot of people like don't get devastated, because a lot of people like, oh my god, how would be devastated? No, it was the best words I could have ever heard, because I already knew my time was kind of dwindling down at that place. They fired me, and then it's just like from there, in between figuring out if I wanted to get another job or not, this was taking precedence over that. So I'm like, might as well start a company. And that's what ended up happening. So I looked at it as, instead of being, oh, that's devastating, when they fired me, I'm like, yes, I get a new start. This is my new beginning. And so ever since then, I've just been sharing what my knowledge is and what I know to help those get funded sooner rather than later. I got funded as I was studying this, doing this, partnering with nonprofits. I volunteered at different nonprofits for free, pro bono. But if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't have chose that route. I would have chose the make mistakes while you get paid route. But I whenever I tell anyone else, it'll be like, okay, here's what you do, because I have that information now. Here's what you do. You can actually freelance as a volunteer and get paid for it. This is the way you do it. So that's where I'm at. But anyway, that was a mistake for me, where I feel like Nora was mentioning, where you don't know, so you assume that you need all this stuff, and you really don't. If you just figure out, okay, I need 1 2 3, and I'm going to focus on this, and this is what I'm going to do, you'll be fine. But with me, and I know it, Nora, it's just like, I need this certificate. I need to go back to school for this. I need to spend like 1,900 hours on this. I need to spend 36 hours over here, because we're thinking we need to build that up. And also, that's most likely what we were taught when we're asking questions from the people that we know it. They're telling us, part of it was them telling us that we need all of this stuff. And when we started getting into it and doing it ourselves, it's just like, I only needed a third of this, maybe half, if I just really wanted to get some extra information, but I didn't need 100% of this. So that's another thing. I'm not
No.
trying to say listening to others is a bad thing, but I am saying that take it with a grain of salt. What as we say here, if it don't apply, let it fly.
Yeah.
So take what you need from it. Yes, they're giving you 100%, but if you only need 35% to get you unstuck, take that 35% and whatever else. I'm not saying drop it off at the dock and give it a Viking funeral, but I am saying maybe hold that in your back pocket for later, but do the 35% that's most essential that you need. So just to wrap up, that those were some of my mistakes coming in as an entrepreneur with the employee mindset, chasing clients. Then after I stopped chasing them, following up, making sure that I'm just available, and and just like ultimately getting fired. Not to say I was a bad employee, but sometimes when you get fired and it's not even your fault why that happened, or it's not the company's fault, it's just something that happened. Maybe they were downsizing. It could have been anything. I don't want to blame that on, oh, they just didn't like me because I was the best worker. That No, it's more to that, because sometimes companies don't always say why they're making certain decisions. They'll just say it'll just come to you as you're fired. So it's not something that I took personally, because I knew it wasn't my fault. But instead of taking that trauma or that, oh my gosh, that shock, and making it to something negative, I changed it to something positive, to say, okay, my life is starting now. My life is going to begin from this. And so there's more, but I'm giving the highlights and what I just know. But I'm gonna pass it to Nora, because I know she has her story that she hasn't shared yet. So take it away, Nora. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, Brittany. So yeah, so I'm just gonna answer Dorothy first. Yeah, congratulations on your three nonprofit clients, Dorothy.
Oh,
Yeah, you're gonna learn.
congratulations, Dorothy.
Yeah, you're gonna learn about that actually on the class for 990. that we're gonna have live. It is very profitable, and there's some secrets I'm gonna show you on that class, and you'll be able to know like how to find clients year round, so you won't run out of clients. And they need us more and more because they're getting audited because of their 990 incomplete. They're getting penalties because of their 990 incomplete or delayed or not e-filed. They have to e-file it. They used to mail it, and I'm still speaking to people who are still mailing it, and then they're getting their monetary penalty because of that, and now they need us. So it can be very profitable, and not so many tax professionals are ready and wanting to work with nonprofits. I spoke to so many of my friends, tax professionals. They don't want to even hear it. No, I'm not working with nonprofits. So yeah, I think this is a great niche, and they need us more. And you only need people who understand. Even with businesses, like you would find people who don't understand how important to be working with a tax and accounting professional and just dealing with their business in a professional manner. Same thing with nonprofits. So there's like almost 2 million. The last studies I read, it was 1.8 million nonprofits in the US. That not including like I think this does not include churches and religious institution. I'm not positive. Maybe don't quote me
Yes,
on.
yes, it does.
It does? Okay. So yeah, maybe. So a lot
No,
of
I
people.
know it. I know the statistic you're talking about, and yes, it does include
Okay.
churches.
Okay, so it does, but still a lot. And there are very few of us who is ready to work with them and to give our time and expertise for that. So yeah, it can be very profitable. And we'll talk more about that on the class, the 990 class coming up in 2 weeks. Speaking of that, if you are listening to us, I have a class training coming up on, here we go. I'm going to just put the link here on July July 19 and July 20. We're gonna be live for 2 hours, going through like how to do 990s, what do you need to have, what do and more. Like I'll talk about it in a different live. I don't want to take so much of this, but I'm gonna go live again, if not today, earlier next week, to talk about it more. But if you go to this link, on the screen, you can actually register for a class, and there is a VIB option as well. So, and I'll be live with you guys, and you can ask any question you have. Now, speaking of my mistakes, of course, I told you like not verifying what I have to do before, just assuming before I start. So that delayed me more than 10 years. So yeah, so that is one thing, and really, you never know what could happen in that 10 years. But okay, that's fine. I'm here now. I'm not gonna assume anymore. So don't assume. If you want to do something, just go do it. Find out. And then another thing is, I have my notes here. Not taking not taking enough time off. Um,
Oh yeah.
I would actually wake up 5 a.m. I work until like 5 or 6 p.m., sometimes later, working, attending training. I am a lifetime learner. I cannot not learn. So even though
Same.
like I don't have to do something, I mean, I don't have to have the CBA, I don't have to have the EA, I don't have to have a lot of things, but I still want to do it. And the more you learn, you find out that how much you are still missing, because it's endless, guys. So don't wait to start, just start, and you'll learn on the way. So I would be learning, working, attending coaching calls. This is like the first 2 years of my business, and nonstop. And then last year in November, just after Thanksgiving, I was breaking. I got COVID, never got COVID before, even when it was like around. And then I was just like unable to work for 3 weeks, and I was so devastated, couldn't really continue working the way I wanted to. I just broke. And that was a lesson for me. Is just, Nura, you need to take care of yourself. This is unsustainable. You cannot keep doing this. So that's why I changed everything for 2023. I started taking weekends. I started taking care of myself. I started doing things that I like, have some more self care. So, and I'm doing much better now. I even like took a week off, like by the end of the May, um, because also like starting January, ending in May, be busy all that time. I learned so much in that period because I was just, I took it, I just was running nonstop. I was like, okay, I have to take a week now, and I took a week and stayed home. Didn't do anything. Didn't want to go vacation. Didn't want to do anything. Just stayed home. And next year, I will do the tax season in a different way. I'm not going to do it the same way I did it this year. Another thing I had this year, actually, I had staff members. I loved them, and we were working together since I started. So this is the hiring mistake I get. Okay, they were so good, they were doing things, but I think they got so comfortable. And I can be nice, but if I am really telling you things over and over and you're not doing what I'm telling you, you're just, oh, Noor is nice, it's gonna be backfiring on you. But I'm not gonna stay nice until the end. There's an end. There's an end, whether it's from any side, like whether you're working with me, whether you are whatever you are in my life, there's an end to it. So I can be so nice, but once it's ending, it's ending. So, but I learned, hopefully, hopefully, because you never know when it comes again, um, that we should actually give warning before and be firm on this and tell people, okay, this is not going to go well, and give them an action that is going to tell them exactly this is going to be ending if you are not correcting what you are doing. Um, if you don't do that, like, you have to have something. I mean, I know sometimes you feel, oh, okay, give excuse to people, but this can backfire on you. So that really hurt that hurt my business, because I kept paying people who are not producing anything for me for too long. I should have like stopped that earlier. So I make sure, if you hire people, make sure you have expectation very clear. Make sure you have accountability, and don't drag inaction too much. If they're not doing what they're supposed to do, if they're not generating you income, then you don't need to hold into them. Like, they can probably find another opportunity, they will, and you will be better off without them, because you can pay yourself or someone who is going to generates results for you. So that's another thing. Okay, one more thing, I promise. There's like, we can go forever, but we're not going to keep you too long. So one more thing. One more thing. So setting unrealistic goals. So actually, I did that
Yeah.
last year in 2022. I did set unrealistic goals for myself, for my business, for personal. And that's actually one reason or why I did break in December, because I was so far from my goal. But when you think about it, like, actually, I came so far. I did so much, and the results I brought in is amazing. But I did not realize that, because what I had a goal that is unrealistic. It's not gonna be done, like, unless there's something. What do you call it? Like, something unrealistic happening. Doesn't really usually happen, but
A
because I had that,
miracle.
a miracle. Yes, that's what word I was looking for. Thank you.
See, I got your back,
Yes,
even
thank
in
you.
your story.
Yeah.
This is how we are live, guys. So just okay, we're like this online. Just imagine live. I'm just,
Yes. So, and then I broke, and then I didn't actually pick myself up until I started talking. Okay, see what I have achieved. I'm like, Nura, you achieved so much compared to like the year before. It's actually, the growth was tremendous. It was amazing, and everything was I achieved was great. But just because comparing it to what I wanted to be wasn't satisfying for me. So when I realized back then, okay, Noura, you're not thankful. You need to have gratitude. This is why I'm like, okay, my word for this year, I need to have two things: clarity and gratitude. So I started actually doing journaling gratitude, like every single morning or a night before I sleep. I write 10 things that I'm thankful for. And being thankful what God allowed me to have last year, and not just beat myself up, because there are certain stuff that unrealistic. It doesn't mean that we're not going to reach them, but maybe the time, you need more timeline for that. And instead of having that done in 1 year, you're going to have it in the next 3 years or 5 years or whatever that is for you. So you need to be realistic. Yes, you need to work for it and have an actionable steps. But as you grow, I realized one thing is you have to change so much from with your end, like your mindset, your inner child, your inner person. Like you have to make a lot of changes within you in order for the thing that you want in reality to manifest for you or to be there. You have to work, do a lot of inner work. So even, yeah, we're talking about business, but you cannot separate both. That's what I realized, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And so don't beat yourself up. You have to get ready. That's what they say. It's not the $1 million that you're gonna get it, because when you get there, well, I just for the note, I'm not there yet. I'm so far from that. But just like I heard so many people who are there and past that saying, it's not the $1 million that you achieve or being a millionaire. It is actually who you become on your way. That is your gain.
yes.
That is your gain. And I'm seeing that now, because if you see Noura before I started the business, totally different than the Noura you see right now speaking to you. I'm so much different than last year, also. So much different than last month. And tomorrow, I'm going to be different as well. So you have to make sure you have all of that work in yourself, on your business, in order to achieve that. And that applies to you guys and nonprofits. So like if you probably heard me before saying nonprofit is a business. So if you do not run it as a business, you're not going to be successful. So regardless of what you are starting or started, what are you leading, you same thing applies to you. So yeah, enough from my mistakes now. So just make sure, if you have any downfall, don't don't keep yourself there, because the difference between someone who is successful and someone who is not is really the successful person. Every time they fail, they get up and do it again, finding a different way to do it, um, navigate their way. And the other person just failing, oh, I can't do it, okay, I'm not going to do it again. So that's the only difference, basically. So see what you want to be, where you want to be, and choose which one you want to be. Yeah. So do you have any other thing, Brittney, before we talk about our event again?
Um, I would just say this from just like everything, everyone, we all have our own experiences. We all have our own experiences. And like I mentioned before, like when I said I got fired, some of you guys might have felt that like devastation in your chest, like, oh, I hope that never happens to me. While others of you were probably like cracking up with me and Nora, like they did the best thing they could. They fired me. And it's like, really? So it's all a matter of perspective. I'll say that. And when things like this happen, is not to say you're unintelligent or you can never make it. It's just sometimes you have to make unavoidable mistakes that's going to propel you into your future. Because if I didn't go through if honestly, if I didn't go through any of the stuff that I went through, I would not be here before you today telling you the shortcut, I believe, on how to actually get funded when you write grants sooner than later. Besides but getting past the stuff you already know, you've already heard 1,000 times, but okay, what's the strategy behind it? What do I have to do? What am I looking at? And that's another reason why my methods are different and unique, just like everyone else. I posted a video the other day, and I told Nora this as well. I posted a video the other day because I felt like somebody needed encouragement when it comes to, you want to do something in the same field, but it's just like you feel like the market is oversaturated. Like, we started this mastermind like there wasn't already a ton of grant writing consultants, grant managers, nonprofit leaders, nonprofit consultants. We're putting our own thing on it. So this is what we believe the market is missing. Is missing our methods, is missing the way we do it, is missing our touch. So yeah, it's oversaturated. Like, we didn't really wake up in the morning and say, oh, I would be a nonprofit leader or a nonprofit CFO. I would be a grant consultant, but all of these other grant consultants are here. All of these other nonprofit CFOs are here. All of them. We're saying, yeah, I see that. I acknowledge that, but this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna move different. This is how we're gonna do it. So that, just like as a closing remark, don't ever think that what you want to do, if the market is oversaturated, oh, they got plenty. Because anytime you go grocery shopping, there's different eggs, it all in the same area. There's different breads, there's different types of butter, there's different types of flour. And guess what? They're all housed under the same grocery store. It just depends on that person's preference. Maybe this person likes wheat bread opposed to white, or opposed to Italian, or maybe this other person, they like rye and pastrami bread over tortillas. So it's not to say that, oh, well, you're untalented, or, oh, you're walking into the danger zone because everyone else is doing it. Sometimes the market just needs your unique touch and your set of specific skills on how you intend to make it different. So that's a closing remark for me.
Just talking about this, actually, I've heard like many coaches saying it is actually a good sign to see a lot of people doing the same thing, because a lot of people are looking for individuals who are offering the same thing. It's just like no one actually have the same like fingerprints as yours, eye prints, your DNA. Same thing with whatever you are choosing to do. No one has this similar thing. And I know that for example, for my method and what I teach, I know it's not there. People are teaching stuff, but not my stuff, not the way I teach it, not the way I believe in it. Not, they probably haven't had the result I got. Same thing for Brittney. So
Same.
same thing for you, same thing for everyone. So don't, you just have to put it in paper and see it. Because if it's not written in front of you, you don't know that you have it. But if you start getting this out of yourself, you're going to be surprised and you might need a coach for that. And that's why we are offering all these programs. And if you need like more help, also you feel free to reach out to us and just see like what how can we help you. So um don't forget to get your ticket now for this event, Available Money Now Mastermind in Houston, Texas, August 26th. We will be with you in person. Register now. Don't delay because the price is going to go up very soon. So make sure you grab a partner and both register. You can you have no excuse if you are actually serious about growing your business, your nonprofit, learning about grants, learning on how to make sure your organization is ready for funding and ready to go after your individual ideal individual donors, then you want to be there. You want to be there. Designate those 5 hours. Come from any city you are in, drive there, fly there. Just make sure you invest in yourself, in your future. A lot of people actually needs you there, whether you are in nonprofits, your beneficiaries need you to be more active and get them funding so that you can help them. And if you are a consultant, there's a lot of your clients waiting for you to help them in order to reach their goal. And on the way, you will be reaching your goal as well. So don't delay. Make sure you join us today. Um, and also, we're going to be here next Friday. But like I said, don't delay. Go to the link, purchase your ticket today. Don't delay because a lot of July is going to pass like that. We're already July 7, so don't delay. The prices will double up. So, because it's so much more worth it. Actually, we're providing this with fraction of the price it should be. Like we're gonna give you actually a lot of value. And when we
We're
spoke
gonna, yeah, the value is probably gonna be upwards of $20,000 to $50,000 worth of information, and this is stemming from years of our experience, what we know, what our areas of expertise, and also the shortcut. Like, how do we get all this information and then pilot in a 5-hour workshop?
Mhm.
It's a shortcut.
Yep.
It's not, it's still going through the process, it's still working it, but without jumping through hoops and going through the red tape and fireballs to get it. So this is why we teamed together, came up with our unique methods, and that's what we're sharing with you.
Mhm. Awesome. Awesome. I'm gonna keep you more than that. We love talking. We're gonna be talking forever if we let ourselves and you stayed here with us.
I'm laughing because she's right, because we like to talk a lot.
Yeah. Yes. So we'll let you go. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great Friday. And we can't wait to see you there. If you have any question, you can still comment under this video wherever you are watching this from, because we are on multiple platforms. But ask us questions, reach out to us, come here next Friday, and we will be live again together. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.
See you.